Good morning, Scooters team. My name is Rory with Clean Water Guys, and we're here at our local Scooters to walk you through changing of the filters on your reverse osmosis system. Our Clean Water team is here and is going to go through that process right now. All right, the next thing we're going to do is replace the AMSQT. That's the reverse osmosis membrane. On this one here, once again, you want a towel or a rag. You're going to go ahead and put the system into bypass. Once we're into bypass, remember you're still good to go for coffee, ice, and espresso. We're just on a temporary bypass to replace the membrane. You'll notice at the bottom is a small 1/4 inch black line that connects to a quick connect fitting at the bottom. As we took off the valve on the tank earlier, you'll see now we have to remove that line. Keegan will go underneath with his fingers and form a Y to go in between the tubing. He will then push towards the gray collet on the white fitting, supporting the fitting with his thumb on the back, and he will push and then pull out the black tube. That is the line that goes to the drain. It's important now, before you remove the membrane, is go ahead and put your finger or thumb on that. So when you take the membrane off now, you will get a little bit of flow that's going to want to come out of the 90. That's why you put your finger or thumb on there. He'll go ahead and remove the cartridge now, 1/4 turn to the left, down. And now he's going to take this over to the sink and you'll see the water come out. You're just going to drain that out into the sink or lay that down. This membrane is only replaced as needed. It could last a year, less than a year, more than a year, 2 years, or longer, depending on water quality and usage. Now with the membrane that we're replacing is now off, you'll notice the fitting on the bottom of the membrane. You're going to need a small crescent wrench, and you'll take the crescent wrench and you're going to unscrew the fitting on the bottom of the membrane. So just get around the hex nut side, turn counterclockwise or to the left. You can get it started. You can unscrew that by hand. Once that is out, you'll go ahead and clean any excess Teflon tape that might be in the threads to make sure that's nice and clean. Now we're set and ready for the new membrane, which is going to come in a box. When you take the membrane out, the one thing you want to notice is on top, underneath the cap, you'll notice a piece of Teflon tape that we included. So you'll remove the cap, take the Teflon tape. Once you have the fitting out, you lay that to the side and put the Teflon tape on top of the threads. Important thing to remember is only cover the threads and do not go past the threads, or that can plug the outlet hole. So you want to hold with one finger as you turn it in. You're going to pull the Teflon tape in nice and tight into the threads. You're going to go around 3 times. And then put your finger on top of the threads and pull the excess tape off. And you can discard that. Once that is in place, you then take the new membrane. You'll notice on the bottom, it comes with a little gray cap. You're going to go ahead and pull that cap off. And then you thread the existing fitting with the Teflon tape nice and straight. Make sure it does not cross thread. Get it started, and then that's going to turn all the way in as far as you can go, hand tight, and then use your crescent wrench to turn clockwise or to the right all the way until the nut stops towards the end of the membrane. Now that we have the fitting in, we're going to go ahead and put the membrane back in its place. So that'll quick change up into the slots, 1/4 turn to the right, it'll lock in. Once the membrane is in place, the first thing we need to do on the new membrane is to flush that. You're going to need a pitcher, and all you do is slide that pitcher underneath the membrane and about 2 inches above. So what you'll do now is open just a little bit the bypass valve, just a crack, until water starts coming out of the bottom. Because this is a new membrane, it does need to be flushed to make sure everything is cleaned out from that, and you want to run a total of 3 gallons of water. If he opens that bypass a little bit more, the water's going to come out faster, and you just let it run at a nice steady stream like that. You just don't want to open the bypass all the way. Once the pitcher is starting to fill to the top, go ahead and shut the bypass off. The flow of the water will slow down. Put a towel underneath, dump the pitcher, and go ahead and start again. And you continue that until you flush 3 gallons of water. Once that's complete, go ahead and go back to bypass. Let the water trickle down. Keegan will then go ahead and reconnect the black line to the bottom of the membrane, line it up nice and slow, push in until it locks in, pull back and make sure it's locked. Now the installation of the AMSQT is completed. We now go from the bypass into service position, and the pressure gauge will go up. Once the system is in service position, you can open up the black lid and see water coming from the white float, which is right underneath the black valve on top of the tank with the blue handle. The second water we need to check is the water coming from the small black 1/4-inch line, which comes from behind the first CTOQ and goes down to a drain. It either will go into a standpipe as pictured here, or to a floor drain in other locations. You want to pull that line up to make sure you do have a steady flow of water coming out of there. It's important to have water coming out of the drain and into the tank at the same time to show that the system is working properly. So once we've tested the membrane and the reject water going to drain and the product water going into the tank, it's important to call Clean Water Guys to confirm the flow from each area. You can do that by simply dialing 1-800-727-0707, and we will confirm the production and the flow rates for your particular location. With any questions, call Clean Water Guys at 800-727-0707, and have an awesome day.